starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Cuckoo is here with Rosh and Saku and we are continuing Ace Attorney investigation.
Hello.
Let's get some investigating going on.
Oh wait, did I?
I think you loaded the wrong save.
Let's start that one
Hello.
over.
Let's investigate the case of the wrong save file.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll just cut that whole part out.
Never
Keep
happened.
that for your personal archive.
Blooper reel.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Cuckoo is here with Rosh and Saku and we are continuing Ace Attorney investigations.
Hello.
Greetings.
September
We are
10th,
ready.
District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Here is the autopsy report.
Did his sprite shrink?
He's just standing closer.
Yeah. It is probable that Mr. L survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Don't tend to do it that way round.
Maybe Edgeworth got bigger.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
Are you sure we know everything?
Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back, and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and very simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt.
You really believe that to be the truth?
Ha! Are you saying that's just because I figured out the truth before you? That you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is.
Don't worry, I will.
Sorry, I know this is a very low-key thing, but the fact that she is wearing a waistcoat with nothing underneath it is wild to me.
It's very pretty. I've never seen anyone do it in reality, but I'm sure it would look...
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. L survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. L. And Mr. L, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case!
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous. Therefore, he must have attacked first. He mustn't have, or must have? Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. What happened?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. L survived for a short time.
You truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously?
I have the murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see, it's been documented clear as day. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. L.
Mr. Faraday shot Mr. L before he died. You have any basis for that statement?
Well, he couldn't exactly shoot him after he was dead, you idiot.
Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need.
Alright. So if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously,
This word has lost all meaning.
then he must have attacked Mr. Rel before being
You're finally beginning to catch on, I see. And Mr. Rel, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him.
So you believe that the dying Mr. Roll stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rel became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled, and in the end, Mr. Rel was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to the struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that it's perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your
Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Rel used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
About this statement.
Mr. Rel used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do.
How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
You've already been hit by Edgeworth, you can do it right now.
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
How do you wear a waistcoat with nothing underneath? No, that will be fine.
Doesn't it really chafe your nips?
Those are the facts of this case.
Claiming speculation as a fact already. Don't you feel that evidence is a bit low?
You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around this room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rel. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counteract impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess from their fight. I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip a whip at.
It looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And looking at this place, she might have a right. After all, everything here seems to support her theory.
It looks like you're starting to see my point. I've as good as won a little competition.
There's something strange about Francesca's theory. I could compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere.
Is it the bags? Edgeworth, do you think it's the bags? Edgeworth!
I don't know.
Shut up, Braid, I'm
He's
trying
grasping
to
at
think.
bags here.
Nice.
The little voice in Edgeworth's head is a tiny Scottish girl.
It's better than me and Gumshoe, I suppose.
Would it be this? Or would it be
Maybe.
the actual bag?
Wouldn't it be the actual
Is-
bags? Because
Yeah.
is there
no,
more
maybe,
details when you press check?
Let's see.
Or is it that Gumshoe was there outside and didn't hear anything?
See, it's weird because like they were
This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be. Which begs the question: do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve its
yes.
and then smash it with the hammer?
Let's just kill him instead. It's been too long since I've seen that movie.
Me too.
See, I thought it would be because some of the bags were stacked neatly, but there doesn't seem to be
Yeah.
anything in your your testament. Blah.
Didn't hear a sign of a struggle. I think it's probably that.
Yeah.
If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number. It's not that hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed.
Isn't there something strange in Francesca's statement just now? Yeah, if he died instantaneously, he couldn't have shot him. Wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
Is it not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed?
I don't know because the word instantaneously has lost all meaning for me, so I can't find this evidence.
He's slowly floating off into space. According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously.
Just that Winnie the Pooh gif from
Meaning
Kingdom Hearts.
something?
When his spirit just flies out of his body.
He died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife.
Oh, that's what it
Oh.
means again.
Okay.
Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that. It was doing that thing where you say the thing the other person was saying at first and act like it was your idea.
Oh, you got me.
But of course.
Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell.
Coco, if you don't call this episode instantaneously, I'm gonna fucking riot.
I mean, I might have to not do so just so I can see that.
Call it immediately instead.
Yes.
From the moment of.
Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francesca.
I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
And I still understand the meaning of the word fool better than instantaneously at this point.
How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid. And still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francesca, you've still got a ways to go.
What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantaneously.
No, he died instantly.
And the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in the scene. The contradiction here in the crime scene is... yeah.
The order of the body?
The order the bodies fell?
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then, the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
No!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
Yes, I agree it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means the real mystery behind this crime is...
No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth.
What now?
I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clear now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent.
She shall bounce back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong.
Shring. Do you think the police officers just trying to do their work? I'm not talking about Big Bad and Gumshoe, they're part of this gong show as well. But the actual officers trying to do their work are just watching this happen. Like, can you take this outside? We've got stuff to do.
They already know exactly what's happened.
They've always got popcorn ready.
Good for them. There's a nice tea
Bring
set in
it
the
to
room. They're
work.
probably having a nice cup of tea.
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
I just know that Francesca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, then I can present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. As if y'all didn't know this already by now.
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's.
It was just chance that my body fell on top of Phoenix's too.
That was not a chance. That was premeditated.
That was a perfectly timed objection. She objects to that completely.
Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're your one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools.
That wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rell.
I bet you do.
I do.
Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute?
Ah! Francesca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours.
He said, lying. Oh, I'll hold on to it all right, as I whip you.
Oh, Daddy is so proud of his little girl.
Nah.
Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue, if you don't mind. The two bodies fell into a pile.
The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be just a bit strange?
Not at all.
Why don't you think that's strange? I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart.
Miles Edgeworth. Once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and revolver, and then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible.
Yes, it's possible, but
Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got!
oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said in your testimony.
I don't see any point to that, but as you please. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, they both reached for the gun, the gun, the gun. Gonna have to
A
listen
little
to
louder!
that. God, I love that song.
Me too. You're saying that they attacked each other at the same time from close range?
Exactly. Mr. Faraday pointed the gun at Mr. Rel's chest and pulled the trigger. Mr. Rel then took the knife from Mr. Faraday and stabbed him before he fell unconscious. The dead Mr. Faraday instantly fell on top of Mr. Rel from the stabbing, pinning Mr. Rel under him, where he died shortly thereafter. And that's how they ended up on top of each other with no contradictions to be seen.
Sounds like your future, Edgeworth.
Yikes.
He's having trouble swallowing a certain aspect.
Gross. It's the close range one, isn't it? Because he doesn't have the bullet wounds, gunpowder.
Yeah,
I missed this line though.
that'd be the one.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I was too busy thinking of Chicago.
Okay. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
You really believe they fell in the exact opposite order of which they were attacked?
Miles Edgeworth, you're not listening to a word I am saying.
Because you keep rupturing my eardrums.
They both attacked each other at the same time, and Mr. Rel fell first by chance, leaving Mr. Faraday to just happen to fall on top of him. Then Mr. Rel died shortly thereafter, pinned underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened.
So the two men attacked each other with Mr. Rel randomly falling down. The fact the order that they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely one certain aspect that I'm having trouble swallowing. And we know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, he winks when he does that. That's adorable.
You believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes. The firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards.
Ah!
Oh, it's a cute sprite.
Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation.
What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right, Then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who?
The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... It was me!
Miles Edgeworth, and he just sweeps out. My gut's telling me it's neither, but like knowing this game, it's probably like for
Yeah.
some bullshit reason that it's with each other.
We get to read this script either way, here in this room. Contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing.
That's correct.
Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
Of course. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup, made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it, and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there is a third person involved?
Plastic bag?
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand, and the plastic bag with his blood. These two items point to the presence of a third person.
Also,
Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony.
Yes, he said you'd come, Lord, was a very nice little Pomeranian.
And we
I
all
was
loved
on-
him for it.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
There wasn't a struggle in this room. Then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground. Meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment. There's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Is that true? Are we learning more things?
I mean, depends where you stab them, yeah.
Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence.
It's like the opposite of Gone Girl.
Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation.
Yes.
Oh, that's what she
Yay,
sounds like.
she's
I'll
back.
try and model her voice around that now. What the heck's up with you, pal? Sorry. I nearly said a swear.
Just it coming from Gumshoe is what really made
Mr. Bad, I advise. God, she got very Edinburgh there. I'm very sorry. Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What?
What's the meaning of this?
Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Ms. Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let his honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you! During the recess, there was a period of time where there was no one in the hallway.
What? See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective, who was supposedly doing his job the whole time, want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe. Did you kill Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir!
It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles.
I mean, not really. He's still right. if this is
Yeah.
really what happened.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Was that statement really a lie?
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.